Both are zero-sum games. This is again great because it means that sports betting is fundamentally different from casino. It also means that skills matter. But just as in poker, within sports betting, the house or bookmaker also takes a cut of every single bet. So in order to be profitable in the long run, you need to beat the edge of the house. Another slight difference is that in sports betting, you are to varying degrees competing against the house versus other players. For example, if we take a Premier League game between Manchester United and Liverpool, where there are huge amounts of bets for large amounts of money on both teams to win, then you're mainly competing against other players if you are on either side of the match. But if you're betting on a very small league like the English Conference League, then you are likely betting against the house on one side and you again on the other side. Because on those smaller competitions, house or bookmaker won't be able to get as much stake on both sides to make it even, so they have to take some risk on one of the sides themselves. Earlier we talked about the key to being profitable when playing poker is to find positions with a positive expected value, and that over time the law of large numbers will ensure that good players are making money and bad players are losing money. And this exact same two concepts apply to sports betting. Now, in the short run, or a low number of hands, then luck or randomness will have a very large impact on the results. But in the long run, if you put a great poker player up against a complete rookie and they play a million hands, then they will get absolutely crushed. Because for every single hand that is played, the better player will get a small plus EV advantage, and this compounds over time with the number of hands that are played, and in the end that ends up being a huge advantage over the worst player. If you're playing against a player you know to be superior in a heads-up tournament, you could potentially be better off going all in on a coin flip than trying to beat them over time. You can see people getting lucky and winning the World Series of Poker, but there is also a reason that a lot of the players at the final table are the same over the years. And that is because those players have managed to master the skill of poker and have an edge over their competitors. How does playing poker relate to sports betting, more specifically what we call value betting? Well, first off, inside poker, there is a term called a value bet or value betting. This refers to a situation where you're confident that you have a better hand than your opponent, so you know you have a plus EV or positive expected value situation. Next, you determine the appropriate stake size for your bet, the value bet, in order to maximize the profits you can take away from the hand. Now, value betting in poker is crucial because if it is done correctly, it enables you to maximize the money you gain from the hands where you know you have an advantage. And also spotting when your competitor is value betting will enable you to save a lot of money when you have an inferior hand yourself. In order to be a profitable sports bettor, you need to make bets which are plus EV over time. That's the only way to win thanks to skill and not just to random luck. So making plus EV bets in poker refers to making bets and maximizing your profits when you have a hand that is superior to your competition. You can also bluff, but let's just leave that out now for simplicity's sake. While in sports betting, it's about making bets that are plus EV relative to the odds offered by the bookmaker, the house. The next natural question is, how do you find plus EV bets in sports betting? To help you do that is exactly why we made Trademate, because what Trademate does is identifying value bets or plus EV bets in the sports betting markets. And we do all of that automatically through the software that we have built. So we compare thousands of games across multiple sports in real time in order to find these value bets. Basically, what we are doing is exploiting the inefficiencies that exist in sports betting markets, and these inefficiencies, they occur because different bookmakers offer different odds on the same game. Now, contrast this to poker. If you know the cards that all the other players are holding, you can calculate the correct probability of each player winning the hand. Now, the key difference between poker and sports is that the bookmakers do not know the true probability or true odds of the game. They are merely guessing who is going to win and who is going to lose. And some of these bookmakers are a lot better at guessing than others. And this is the fact that Trademate is exploiting. Now, in order to beat the bookmakers and be profitable with your sports betting, then you should start out with finding these plus EV bets or value bets, as we call them. The second step you need to do is that you need to place a lot of these bets. You need to keep building your sample size, and eventually the law of larger numbers will help you out as the good and the bad luck evens out. Because over a large sample size, your actual results will come very close to your theoretical results, the expected value. So in order to determine whether your bets are plus EV or not, we measure something called the closing odds at Trademate. The closing odds is the odds that is offered at the time the game starts. We have an article, which you can also find the link to below this video, that describes what the closing line is and why it is the best benchmark in order to determine whether you're going to be profitable or losing money in the long run doing sports betting. If you can see that you're beating the closing line over time, then essentially you have an edge over the house. All right, so to use an analogy between poker and betting, Trademate Sports is basically a more advanced version of a poker heads-up display. Now, heads-up displays give you information about your competitors when you play poker online. Now, at Trademate, we take this one step further because not only are we keeping track of stats, we show you where you can find value bets. The equivalent of this would be, now you have a 2% edge of your competitor, you should bet $100 to maximize your returns on this bet. So at Trademate, we find the value bets for you. The only thing you have to worry about is to place the bets and build your sample size. Finally, it's good to finish off with a couple of words on setting the right expectations. So just like you will not become a professional poker player like Daniel Negreanu after playing 100 hands of poker, you won't get Jonas Gjelstad's results after placing 100 bets, even if you are using Trademate. Learning a skill and mastering a craft takes time, and there are no shortcuts or getting rich quick. That just doesn't work. And when using Trademate, this implies getting the bets in. And also, just like Jonas Gjelstad doesn't share all of his edges in poker or betting, Trademate does not contain all of the answers to profitable sports betting. It is a tool which you can customize by setting up your own filters. But what we do have is a proven fundamental approach that works. Read our articles, everything makes sense theoretically. And in practice, our customers have beat the European bookmakers with an average return on investment of 2.6% per bet over a sample size of more than 1 million bets. We are very confident in stating that Trademate works exceptionally well. If you want to try Trademate, we do offer a 1-week free trial. Just keep in mind that you should not measure your results over short periods of time, but over the long run. The key to succeeding both when playing poker and sports betting is to get in a large amount of plus EV bets over time. But keep in mind that in short time spans like a week, results do vary, even when you have an edge over the house. So what I want you to notice is that very, very often after you have placed a bet, you can see that the bookmaker drops their odds from the odds that you placed the bet on. And this is basically the bookmaker admitting that they set the odds incorrectly in the first place and you got a value bet by placing a bet. So this should make you understand that what you're doing is plus EV. So keep that in mind in case your results vary, because a week is still quite a short amount of time. And the number one factor to doing well with Trademate is to get in a large amount of trades over time. Right, so that's it for now. And if you like this video, then I hope you subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. We have quite a bit of other videos on this channel, so make sure to check them out as well. We also have a blog where we cover a lot more topics in detail about how to do value betting successfully. You can check it out at www.blog.tradematesports.com. And there's also a link to it below this video, so that's probably the easiest. All right, take care, and I hope you make some good plus EV decisions today.